Alright, Busia for my money, I'm a quaba from Kosoba POG Media. So the source and any day cash with me, I'll be subscribing. No, I like no shade me, I'm a phone so answer to me, Akabi. And do not forget to click on the notification bell, send any updates we will drop piano. One so answer able to me, Akabi. Abusia, any answer me briefing, you more in some do any other person so near Barra in some way, any air tray, a EC chairman, a Jina Mensa currently me no Rokase. A petition that go for the remove. Abusia anansentem na ebeto mu se eye nikunu masasi bi afakoti kwan so akodi ne nsa eye na asase ne hwemu na eye tourism ministry for dia omude koti kwan bi so enya asase no me ne wo kase aban de ne nsa akoto so de no so e kira asema ba bebre me ne wo kase eye supreme court akole eye nikunu se omran be yi nsem bia no anasa dia ye de mra be di no pa man ebewie no afiase abusia nsem no pi course yonko ne nko tie nsem no mu enchiremu.
Building a country, we are building a nation. We must get rid of all corrupt officials from our space. And if anything is a pointer, I've already shown you a land that was belonging to the Ghana Tourism Authority all these years in 2020 changed hands to the husband of the electoral commissioner. Does it sit well with you? Does it sit well with you?
Right.
That is the situation we are dealing with. We shouldn't let political class think that they are above us. Either than that, one day, one fine day, let's be mindful. Okay.
Would you want to touch briefly on the special prosecutors?
The special prosecutor.
Yeah. Because the petitions are 10. 7, 3.
But I've said a time with that number that he should not be at post. You know, there's a difference between having gone to school, learned and gotten first class, and the difference between management. He doesn't have the political will. He's so incompetent, he just has to leave the space. I've said a time with that number. You understand? He's supposed to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses and retrieve assets that have been stolen. He's not been able to do that. Not that there are no issues, there are corrupt issues. The last time he came to tell us that, look, he has been able to get 10,000 ghost names out of the what's the name? Auditor General's Department or the payroll. If you are a special prosecutor, listen to the name. The name is special prosecutor. You have identified 10,000 ghost names. These ghost names, they had bank accounts that they were receiving monies every month. That's the case. It means they are no ghosts. Human beings were the ones going to the bank to go and collect these salaries, and you have this fine opportunity. Why is it that he has not prosecuted any one of the 10,000 people? He just framed up something and came to tell us. Because he realized that pressure was on him. The last time we piled pressure on him, he said Ankwanoma or the name Kwabo for the with the own Kwabo for the then you leave the space. I thought after that press conference he will resign. But he seems to be enjoying the space. When you push him, then he come and do press conference. Look at the way he's handling Kenufuriata. Look at the way. Deliberately has gone to court with 78 charges. By the time you are done with even 2 charges, end of the year, how much were the 78 charges? When people want to play with our minds, we don't see it. In any case, he derives his power from the Attorney General. Is that not the case? If the issue is that the Attorney General office is not functioning properly because of inadequate budgetary allocation, and we have resources available, why don't we give it to the Attorney General so that he can go in for more qualified lawyers? Rather than giving it to special prosecutor as though you have opened a branch of the Attorney General. It doesn't work like that. So he ought to go. If possible, they should scrap that office so that we get our peace of mind and give the money to the Attorney General. And we move on.
Dr. Shitu.
Anyway, 10 petitioners. Well, maybe I will just repeat my position as far as the special prosecutor is concerned. As last week we spoke about this issue. And I said, well, if possible, let's have a cost-benefit analysis of that office. How much has it cost the taxpayer since the opening of that office or since its inception? And what has been the benefit? So maybe on the basis of that, we can decide on the way forward. So maybe until that is done, I will just hope that we get a clearer picture of how much we are spending on the office and what benefit is it bringing. Then to the EC, my old office.
Oh, you worked there?
Yes, I was there for 8 years. So
Oh, okay.
before I left, so it's quite constraining to talk about EC. But well, the fact of the matter is that whatever is happening now, or since Jane came, very much different from what we experienced when we were there with Afrajan, the venerable old man. All right, and it is clear that certain things have not gone well as far as the administration of the office is concerned. Sometimes when you meet former colleagues, the kind of information you get will sadden the heart. And so if we are currently having a situation of about seven petitions, the number is quite huge as far as I'm concerned, but I think it's not surprising, because if you look at certain decisions that the commission took in the past, you ask yourself, are these electoral administrators? You remember the issue of birth certificate?
And even the 2020 results.
No,
Sometimes I ask myself,
let's go one by one.
What is a true figure?
Okay, I'll come to
Right.
there. That's an electoral commission will take a decision that birth certificate, which is supposed to be a primary document for every Ghanaian, should not be used. I mean, I just ask myself, how? Where did this come from? Is there anything that's you are planning on toward? It's certainly not acceptable. Unfortunately, this was a matter that the Supreme Court should have at least come to the aid of Ghanaians or the average voter. But the Supreme Court rather stamped that decision. Certainly, it can't be a decision for a good electoral administrator. Number two, we've had occasions where supplementary registration or people who have just come of age are to be registered, or people who previously did not have any opportunity to register either because they were sick, they traveled out of the country, whatever it is, and you are now going to open, supplementary registration. The best practice for an electoral administrator is to send the opportunity for voting to voters. You send the facility to them. But what did we see? That people should move from their houses and go to a central point, which is the district electoral office. In some districts, we hear of 50 kilometers, 70 kilometers. In a country that we're talking about unemployed people. So at the end of the day, you have political actors bassing people. So when they bass the people, why won't they influence them? Yeah. But if you, the electoral administrator, had facilitated the process by sending the opportunity to register to their closed door, nobody is going to bash anybody. Nobody will influence. And
it was their mandate to ensure that
yes,
every eligible Ghanaian gets the opportunity
the
to
law
register.
actually requires you to send to the electoral area.
Yeah.
So at the time that we were there, you normally do supplementary registration at electoral areas. So there you have individual walking maximum 500 meters or something, a little over that, and then go freely, register and come. And then when even political parties decide to even send this to court again, I remember 4 political parties send this to court. If this even flouts the regulation governing supplementary registration or the registration process, again, the Supreme Court. What happened in that case was that they even fixed a date for hearing well after the exercise was. I mean, things like this suggest that there's some manipulation in the background. So for me, yes, if people are asking or even putting in petitions today, it will come as on account of some of these things. You talked of 2020 election results. Currently, we don't even know
the true figures.
The true figures of what? But the figures have changed almost like 5-6 times. And these are things that will happen elsewhere and people will resign. In our case, nobody has resigned, nobody has been held accountable, and we are there. So if there are petitions, certainly there are enough grounds to suggest it's one of these things. Even some of the printing that was done in all the elections, how the printers were selected. You remember there was an instance where Unilink, right?
Yeah.
Was caught with about 1 million.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Will you believe that if you had such an incident, there should be no reason. In fact, the EC should blacklist such a printing company. Yeah. But in 2024, they were contracted again. And ballot papers are part of the security materials we have in an election. Yeah. Look at the way pink sheets were flying. Pink sheets are supposed to be, again, security. These are materials that are supposed to be limited. Their use, control, movement control. So much so that it should not be in the system. But we had instances where duplicate pink sheets and how was the printing done? And how was the distribution done such that it was just flying in public space? So all this for me, it just shows that, well, there's something that needs to be done to, reset the commission. Yes, I can only hope that when it comes to moment of selection, let's be dispassionate about it. Let's find a way to...
We've not got into that hurdle yet. We've not got in there yet. So
anyway.
Or you didn't agree with me. We've not got in there yet.
We will get there.
Maybe there will be no case, prima facie, case against
a matter of seven petitions.
Right. Would you want to touch on the SP before we...
Yes, I've already stated my case.
Right.
I need a cost-benefit analysis. How much is it costing the taxpayer, and how much are we benefiting?
Right.
Whichever takes away, if it has to be scrapped, so be it.
Prince, people think that your government is witch hunting officials of the Electoral Commission. There is talk about the fact that even before the NDC came into power, you guys had boasted that when you come, she would go. She shall go. She must go. What do you make of the petitions?
Well, first and foremost, I want to issue a disclaimer that I'm not one of the persons who have sent any of the 10 petitions. No, but I have sent petitions in the past. Okay. In fact, I've shared one such one with you, which was signed by myself and Kotoko, currently the Deputy CEO for the Forestry Commission, for the removal of J.Mensah, and which was received by the President then, Akuffo, on 21st January 2021, in which petition all manner of things, including that which you've mentioned, are contained in there. From Ayawaso West Bogon through to the murders during the election 2020, through to incompetence, he and his deputies being biased against the NDC, among others. In fact, it's a 10-point petition, including even the election, security, the lies that if 10 and 15 are showing up, it is thanks to them. The hypocrisy of Occupy Ghana.
Alright, Abusia, offer me no when you go so I will no. You best say one subscribe, you subscribe. No, I like no shade media, I'm off phone so answer to me Akabi. And do not forget to click on the notification bell send any update to be able to drop it and one so answer to me Akabi. Abusia for offer me no go so e can send PM Kunyakoti and some do or the tuja.
What's an Article 146 petition anyway? It's a constitutional requirement to ensure that people who are put in public office at a certain level, in the category of people who can pass judgment, in the category of people who can, as it were, affect the lives of people, are not either corrupt, incompetent, and so on. So why should some people be shielded from it? In fact, I consulted Samson Ladi Ayineni on the Sofa Akuffo one and asked specifically how long it should be for a petitioner to remain silent. He told me 60 days and so on. I waited beyond that. Countless times, Samson refused to even talk about it, even at the point where Kwekubaku had gone to verify and said on his program. Several times, Felix Fosuan had spoken. Samson, honestly, Samson, Ladi Ayineni, coward.
I wouldn't know why you are taking
no,
it's not here to respond to the allegations you are making.
No, I'm not making an allegation. These are facts. You can ask Kwekubaku whether he never... Listen, he actually went to the president's office and checked and came on the set. That's news for to say these things. Before that, and I'll start from the history of petitions as far as I have been concerned. And most of them have been based on the lands that people who occupy office use that office to steal. And I've honed in on chief justices especially because at the end of the day, you are told to go to court. And in some instances, the courts are so corrupt that you cannot have justice, and the people of the last two cannot have justice. All these lands that have been talked, then the designation, and gave the land to them. In fact, Gov't came on air and told Ghanaians in the heat of all these things that Akuffo also got a call, just like Justice Georgina Wood got a call. They were dashing our land by taking calls, and that Akuffo thought it was immoral and so didn't take. But his deputy, who took out for him, took together with K.T. Hammond, Atachian, who is the brother-in-law to Georgina Wood and so on. Georgina Wood, ask her how many times she didn't send people to me to come and tell me that she begs. She told the president, then Evans Atta Mills, that she had a call, she didn't have the money, so she exchanged her cheap Akwetema land for the prime airport land. What do you think the motivation was in giving you that, listen, airport residential land, prime land, which was intended for a state purpose? And you know the constitution is clear about how state acquired lands must be treated. When the state has no longer a use for it, it must go to the pre-acquisition owners, so that in the future, when the state wants land, whoever owns the land will be happy to give. People do not give government of Ghana lands and do not trust the government of Ghana to give their lands because they know that it will end up with third parties like that. Now, for the Chief Justice, she escaped because President Mills, when she confessed and returned, washed her hands off, the land was now taken from them. In fact, some of them resisted, Atachian and K.T. Hammond, etc., resisted for some time. But the president reversed the allocation and used it for foreign affairs complex, because the foreign affairs office had been bent. The previous one had been bent under Akuffo when the issue of the passports, passports to drug barons and things came up. You remember that fire? Yeah. So that is how we have a foreign affairs building. Those of us who are of the stool, the last two, whose blood is responsible for getting these lands for the La people, all right, cannot sit by. But the issue is that it was meant for the national good. Right. And so if it's being used for another national purpose, we have no qualms about it. Right. And that's how come we agreed. She then was let off the hook because she confessed and extinguished her interest in it. But the same nonsense is going on. So Akuffo took land, 7,000 Ghana cedis in cantonments. No, not and the annoying part of that transaction is that the 7,000 Ghana cedis that she paid for, Ghana cedis, 7,000.
7,000.
That she paid for. You can even give them the date.
The date is Sophia Akuffo is the 3rd of April 2006.
Under Akuffo. It means that we are going to lose all our lands in perpetuity for political actors and so on and so forth.
Would that not be just reasonable?
It is not reasonable. Why should a whole group of people who have given their lands to the state, just because somebody has come into office? And note, these people retire on their salaries. So if you are retiring on salaries and he is a worker who's on a pension, he's able to have his children not become destitute. What the hell are you telling to us? Especially when you have had the opportunity to be at the helm of affairs to make our lives better and for us to be happy. Why should you be thinking of your children and not the children of everybody else, especially the people who own the land? So I am happy that today has come. Now, at least President Rollins is gone. The wife is gone. The great thing should come to the state so that a future president who can stay in it, if it is designated as a residency for this, or can be used for a different purpose. But we should not allow people to use impunity to take. And look, I'm being clear.
What if the state decides to give it to them based on
the state cannot
reasonableness?
You see, let me tell you something. State authority cannot be used just anyhow. There must be justification, and these are the things that cause upheaval. Yeah. These are the things that cause. Come on, please. Why should the state do wrong by? You think they may be doing it to Accra people, or they're doing it to La people or Osu people? Go to Tamale and etc. I've been on programs where the people are saying similar things are happening there. We must reset the country. And I believe that resetting the country should be across board. Because, look, tomorrow Ghana will need land in Tumu for hospitals, for schools, Takrady for harbour and so on.
Right.
If the people give only for it to be given to individuals, then who will give their lands next? But Ghana must be loved. My grandfather, when he was giving these lands for these purposes, was for national development. And I stand by it. We should reset. And these people... look, I think the list is not exhaustive in the part of the EC. That appear or what's his name?
No, it's not part of the list.
No, I'm saying that. What is he doing there? Why is he not part of the list of people? So, the petitions must be more comprehensive. And in addition to these institutions, the NCCE must see the same reset. Look, let's not kid ourselves. Ghana will be there today, will be there tomorrow, but the state in which it will be should be what we should be calling for. And I think that this president has a unique opportunity.
Right.
He's not coming back again, so he should do the needful, clean the slate, and have his legacy, and we should all support him.
Right. Okay, so we have less than 20 minutes to go, and I think we can do something on this story. They said hands-off Afenyo Marking. Minority accuses speaker of backing plot against their leader. That's the front page story of the Ghanaian publisher. And this issue about the minority seems not to be going away. If you recollect, it's been referred to the Privileges Committee of Parliament after finding himself at the ECOWAS, was it the ECOWAS Parliament? He's not supposed to be a member of that delegation, but from what we're hearing, he forced himself into that house. And
It even says, I don't know how much that appeals to party followers. You know, when you suffer this kind of heavy defeat, it only calls for self-reflection, sober minds, people who will sit and strategically think. And I just wonder why his style of leadership is what is controlling affairs as we talk, and we can only hope that he will be given a fair hearing. I mean, to the extent that the House took a decision as far as the composition of the ECOWAS delegation is concerned, which was based on the tradition that now that you are a leader, it is supposed to be headed by the chief whip or so. Yeah. And that was the decision of the House. Why would you go against the decision of the House? And you even went to the extent of going on your own. Then the official delegation gets there, and swearing them in even became a problem. That was an international embarrassment. I heard they even had to call Ghana. I don't know whoever they called, whether it was the speaker or the major, you know, as what is happening. Because who should they swear in? That was an embarrassment. And I just hope that, well, he should go to the Privileges Committee, go and say his side of the story, and let's hope that he'll be given a fair hearing. That's all that I can say.
Solomon, what do you make of it? This
Afenyo, you know, in the MP,
it's unbelievable. You know, come to think of it.
no, it has to be, you have to believe it, because the point is that he is coming from an indisciplined background from the MPP.
Alright, busuafo da mu nyina amasese mo gya tenase eti yen senpai de besom so ye be so se unsubscribe ya be subscribe no like no share dwumedi ama afofon so inside to me akabi, and do not forget to click on the notification bell so be any update be drop bi and also inside ebe to me akabi abusuan kan hu se POG Media ase de we serve you the best political news and circulate we man Ghana mu ase enti always be an bla POG Media so le ba be fa best political news so be ya obehu de e kone de e ba Ghana manyasemu makramu.